Hey everybody, it's Eric Radvon here, um, doing a multi-purpose update, calling it Summertime Sadness, Comics, COVID, Kids, all of the above. Um, so it's been about a week of COVID in my household so far. Me and my son, come here. So far, me and my son are negative, symptom free. Mama is unfortunately positive, and but feeling better. She had pretty bad symptoms Monday and Tuesday, then started an antiviral treatment, Paxlovid, I believe it's called, and it seemed to really halt things right there, thankfully. So definitely grateful for the available treatments now, the vaccines, all that stuff. It's a much different situation than like if this had happened in March 2020, right? But yeah, definitely stressful and concerning. Given that there's a baby involved and just it's crazy what pregnancy does to women in terms of just like immune system and everything else. It's like kind of this like perfect storm of misery that's happened there. But really hoping that the worst of it is behind. She hasn't been coughing, she hasn't been sneezing, but just like fatigued and headache and stuff. But so many folks that like through my work and stuff that have had COVID, I see they have these lingering coughs for like months, and she's had basically no cough. So I'm hoping that the Paxlovid or whatever just cut off the viral reproduction before it got down into the lungs. But we'll have to keep an eye on it. Obviously, there's all kinds of reports of like COVID rebound after the treatment and stuff. So we'll see what happens. Having a pregnant significant other, it's in this environment where there's all these like viruses flying around, it's nerve wracking. There's like I said, they have a weakened immune system, and if you read about it, actually the placenta for the baby, it's like this, it's like this temporary organ that the body creates, and it's like a viral sponge. Like COVID aside, like it just sort of is there with shields down on the body's immune system and can allow all kinds of things. So there's like so many enormous complications that can come with pregnancy that like until you go through it, you don't even know about. In the movies, it's like my water broke, and then cut to 1-year-old baby all clean and happy, and the reality is not that. So there's a ton there, but yeah, it's been a crazy week. Me and the boy hunkered down on the first floor, living in our living room, and but he's been great through it all. He's been like, it's weird. He's only 2.5, but he seems to understand like mom's sick, and this is something that's happening. But yeah, we're just hoping like again that the worst is behind and moving on, better days ahead. But yeah, it's a weird time. It's summer. It's the waning days of summer. Actually, last night in the air was like that first subtle whisper of coolness here in New England, that fall and then winter is coming. I kind of always love that. It's like New England will sort of wink at you like, hey, a seasonal change is coming just around the corner. And the winters are a little too long and a little too brutal, but on the whole, I really like that season experience and the change coming. It keeps you not stuck in one sort of mindset for too long, right? I find that my entire energy spectrum changes with each season, and so I love the fall and definitely looking forward to that coming. And but yeah, usually August is a month of vacations and beach trips and just fun in the sun and all of that, and having all this happen, definitely it's a really strange contrast of like sunny days and some serious stuff going down on top of it. So kind of a bummer, and again, we're just hoping everyone comes out on the other end okay, mom and baby, of course. So that's the primary concern. On the comic book front, I was to be at Fan Expo Boston this weekend. I was really looking forward to it. It's incredible how big this show has become. It like rivals, the California and New York conventions in terms of like the talent it draws. It's pretty incredible. I mean, there was my main thing was like set up and purely focused on LadyDarke. Have a really nice table set up now that's like 100% LadyDarke focused, and did reasonably well at a small convention, Plastic City Comic Con, that my friend Keith has been putting on for a number of years here, right in my own backyard. Did reasonably well there with it, and just fully expected to, really crush it at Boston, just given the volume of people that are there. And then on the other side, just the networking. There's so many amazing comic editors and every major comic company. A lot of exciting new upstart comic companies are there, so I was really excited just to kind of network, see some old friends I hadn't seen. J.M. DeSantis being one of them. Check him out if you're at Boston this weekend. He does some incredible writing and art, and some really unique comic books that you're not going to find anywhere else. But yeah, so it's a bummer to miss out on that, but obviously like can't afford for me to get sick, and then our toddler doesn't have a parent who's available, and he's not had COVID in his 2.5 years of existence. I've not had it throughout the pandemic, so we want to try to keep it that way. And unfortunately, that exposure, given that my wife has COVID, just wasn't, the risk calculation doesn't make sense anymore. So had to cancel, unfortunately, but hopefully back next year. Either 2023, 2024, the comic conventions will still be out there and still be happening. It's, family and health comes first. So that was the tough choice to cancel, but a necessary one. So hopefully everybody understands, and we're good there. But yeah, excited. The Frank Miller Presents stuff. Frank Miller is going to be there, which is amazing. His new comic line, kind of kicking off there. I think they're giving away, or they'll have available, an Ashcan preview edition. Dan Didio, however you pronounce it, of DC Comics fame, which I think like controversial figure for a lot of reasons, but I think the guy like lives and breathes comics, and it's exciting that he's part of the Frank Miller team, and it proven track record of like assembling great talent and doing some bold ideas and stuff. So yeah, as a fan, I'm like really excited to see what happens there, and as a creator as well, that's like one of those dream things. Like, oh man, imagine having something that has that publisher mark in the corner. The other kind of dream one for me is Dark Horse, and I actually have like an essay that was published in a Dark Horse collection, which is really cool. But I would love to have a straight up comic under the Dark Horse banner. That's just like a personal dream, I guess, and we'll see. Maybe someday the content and the editorial sort of align, and that happens. But let's see. On the other front, LadyDarke #1 continues to sell at a pretty brisk pace via my website, Radvon.com, and it's really surprising. I just see these new orders pop up, 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm not sure how people are discovering it or finding it. It seems to be sort of organic, picking up new followers and friends on like the various social media channels. Instagram seems to be a good one for it. The visual nature of Instagram seems to lend itself well. I love Twitter. I'm a heavy Twitter user, and it definitely yields the least amount of anything. So I don't know. Again, I think I've mentioned that it's like, I guess I enjoy the abuse or whatever, but screaming into the black hole of Twitter doesn't really seem to move the needle on anything that I do creatively. But Instagram and Facebook, although my personal like not favorite social media things, they seem to yield results, which is cool. But yeah, it's really interesting to see that kind of, you go through the mad rush of creating something. LadyDarke #1, it's out there. I fulfilled all the Kickstarter orders, and it's just like, we've got a handful of copies left that I'm selling through my website, and people are really gravitating towards it and finding it sort of out of the blue. So that's cool to see. And then with LadyDarke Book 2, obviously I'm really excited about the comic, and like all the pages are done, all the artwork's done, about halfway through coloring now, and so really 90% of the way through production. Really, it's just be coloring and lettering, and then send it off to the printer, and that's it. The campaign is running right now. It's not doing super great. I think I compared like the date we're at today for LadyDarke 2 versus LadyDarke 1, and LadyDarke 1 was already 100% funded by this point in its campaign, and LadyDarke 2 it's about 30% there. So that's like a really stark drop off, which is a bummer. But you know what? It's not a massive surprise in the comic book world. The gulf between an issue 1 and an issue 2 is always huge. And this is for like Marvel, DC, all the way down the line. It's just like part of the reality of it, and we give the big two a lot of flack for constant reboots and constant number ones, but there's a reason for it, right? We're just like, our monkey brains just gravitate towards those issue ones, and so it's tough. It's tough to make an issue 2 work. The irony here is I think issue 2 of LadyDarke is the best thing I've ever done by far in terms of like potent storytelling, streamlined action, adventure. I think the artwork is fantastic by Emilio Utrera. The coloring from Arthur Hesley is looking great. The letters by Micah Myers is awesome as always. So I feel like this is going to be the most professional, tightest, streamlined, exciting, enjoyable comic I've ever done, and it might not happen. So that's just that's the creative writing experience for you, I guess. It's tough, and we were really fortunate to have a nice hit with LadyDarke number 1, and I didn't want to wait too long or rest on our laurels there. I wanted to really just kind of keep that momentum going and try to knock out LadyDarke 2 as soon as possible. And I really took lessons learned from issue 1 in terms of production and fulfillment and all that stuff to try to make it as fast as possible to get people the book. So I feel like everything is improved across the board with LadyDarke number 2, and unfortunately it's looking borderline for whether it's going to be a success. So we'll see what happens. If it's not fulfilled, if we don't meet our goal of 100%, life goes on. You know what I mean? There's infinitely more important things going on in this world than making a independent comic book. But I will lick my wounds and I'll take stock of what's going on, and we'll take it from there. What, buddy? Hold on. Come here. You want to say hi? Come here. This is what's really important. It's like this guy right here. So, but yeah, if LadyDarke number 2 doesn't work out, we'll regroup and see what happens in the future. So I think that's a good place to wrap it up. He wants to show me something, so I will keep you all posted. If check out the link for LadyDarke number 2 in the comments below. Share it with your friends. It's a huge help for us, and we will talk soon. Peace.